I thought that I was going to be getting ready to be the third time on my bike, but unfortunately I got sick, and then we got hit with this, a snowstorm in North Texas. So there is no place to ride. There's nothing sandy enough. All the roads are still crazy. Yes, it's melting. Yes, I could go get extremely muddy, but with the brand new bike, I just don't know that that's the thing to do. So we're gonna spend the day getting this bike ready. We're gonna put all the protection on it. We're gonna talk about why I'm putting the protection on that I am. If you don't have the money to buy everything at once, how you can prioritize that protection so that you can span it out over a couple of paychecks, because it is not cheap to do. And we're gonna get this bike ready to go, and we are hopefully gonna be ready to ride with Brian Story next weekend. Let's get to it. You might be wondering why I'm taking everything off. Honestly, it's giving me a chance to kind of look and see how everything works on this bike. I think it's very interesting the way that the seat attaches now. So there's like a side bolt there on the seat for it to run through. So it actually, it goes through this bad boy and then tightens here into the seat, right? So you can kind of see in that regard, and then it's got a couple locking bolts there for it to go in. But here's a lot of the electronics up top. Good Lord. There's a lot more going on these dirt bikes these days than I remember from all the two-strokes, which, there's the Sherco, getting ready to sell it. Oh yeah. I was pleasantly surprised how easy this was on the GasGas. Back in the day on the Sherco, I had to finagle the bolt through to make sure it didn't drop off. And in the long run, there was 2 bolts to get the louvers off and 2 more bolts to get these guys back on. The outside of the radiator braces did kind of pinch into the radiator, but in the long run, it was a pretty simple process. We'll see how effective these guys are supposed to be, but Bulletproof has never done me wrong before. So only having one ride on the bike, you can see though in one wash that I am gonna have to take the plastics off a good bit for a couple washes, because there is just a lot of dirt that's gonna get stuck behind the plastics. I also don't like how this piece attaches here and covers this. Like, I'm not even gonna be able to bleed the rear brake without having to snap this zip tie and pull this off a little bit and everything. Like, that kind of sucks. That might just make sense to kind of cut that top off so that you can at least bleed the rear brake. First time taking the air filter off. Let's see how this goes. So there's that latch there. And it looks like there's a pinch guy up in there. Yeah, so that pinches up in there. Down. Up inside, back in that bad boy. And then this one latches there. So what we're going to do is we're going to take this cage with the screen and put on the one without a screen. Being that that was the first time that I had done the air filter, it was just different. They do have to kind of snap into these edges here, right? So that it can kind of fit a little bit tighter. And then these just are where it holds it down instead of having all the different pins like it used to. And we're gonna try to slide it back in there and see what happens. I don't really think you can screw that up too much, but we'll see. At least I got the up pointing in the correct direction. Now that we've got the radiator guards on and the air filter cage swapped out, we want to continue on with protection. So I'm kind of doing it in what I believe is of importance. Radiators, most important, right? Without those, you can't really have a bike that is running. But we're going to start in the back now because of the fact that those seem to be able to take the most hits. So we're going to work on the rear disc brake and the caliper. So to make sure that the actual disc is protected, the caliper is protected, then we're gonna work on the swing arm, make sure that that swing arm chain guide is protected, and work our way forwards. And then we're gonna look at the front brake, so to make sure that that disc is protected, and the lug underneath there on the right side of the bike. How do you prioritize protection when you're adding it to your bike? Good question, good question. Since the rear brake caliper floats on the part that attaches to the axle, we need to remove that and then attach the rear brake fin to the caliper. So there's a floating pin that needs to be removed and attached to the shark fin from Bulletproof Designs and a couple other pieces and parts. You saw me lube those up to make sure that they can move kind of well. And then after that, you're just reattaching pieces and parts that you took off of the piece that was removed. put the caliper protection on, attach the rear wheel, look at the cat, and call it good. So there is the rear disc guard, right? That mounts up to the caliper, right? You saw how I attached the fin to the caliper, and then this is the actual caliper guard here from the outside to protect the actual caliper. I've never had this before. I've never needed it, but now that we've got the BrakTec and everybody's like, BrakTec sucks, I'm like, I don't know, whatever. So we've got it now. That's awesome. Never had an issue with these bad boys from Bulletproof Designs. This is new for me, so we'll see. And now we've got, this is also different now because these swing arm protections, the chain guide protection, we used to actually have to drill into the swing arm to get those on there. We don't have to do that anymore. It looks like they've just got some inset tabs now that sit into these holes when you pull these guys out to protect those tabs a little bit from this whole thing bending and breaking. So we'll get this on there, and eventually I'll probably upgrade this chain guide to like the TMD or something like that, but right now we'll run what we got and get this bad boy on there. Nothing too crazy. Two screws, and we'll do the thing. That was so much easier than it used to be. I am so thankful for that. Let us now move to the front of the bike. We got to do the front brake disc guard and then the fork lug protection. The front brake disc guard is fairly simple. You're going to remove one of the caliper bolts. You get a longer one with the kit, put a little bit of Loctite on there, and you're going to attach it that way. Now, you do need to remove the axle bolt as well so that you can, that's your two mounting points, is the axle bolt and then the caliper bolt. You get those guys tightened back up. I did not, put the correct torque on these bad boys, but you guys can beat me up in the comments if that's something that you'd like to do. Again, I've had this exact one on the Sherco for the 7 years that I've had the bike, and it's been a phenomenal piece of equipment. This one is new to me. I should have put this on the Sherco, but I never did, was the fork lug protector. Again, it comes with two longer bolts. You're going to remove the two pinch bolts there for the axle, put in the two longer bolts, and you're protected. Your fork lug is never going to get as jacked up as it would have if you did not have this piece of equipment. I also got the clutch cover protection. I have not run this on the Sherco. You guys saw that I should have run this on the Sherco, and just because of the fact that I like to have as much protection as possible, I thought it was a good idea to put this bad boy on there. The hard enduro guys have really, really touted this clutch cover from Bulletproof Designs, so I'm going to put it on. You're going to see me torque this guy down because I have stripped these out before over years of in and out, and not torquing them correctly. So I wanted to negate that this time. We'll see how it goes. Unfortunately, this side panel covered up the adjustments there at the very top of the shock body, and I've seen people kind of finagle these so they could get to it easier, and I thought that that was a good idea. Now, I will say I am not the best with the with the saw, but we got it. I sanded it down so that it was nice and smooth, and there's less of a chance of my pants catching on it, and now you can see the full thing in all of its glory. Well, no one said I was an artist, but I wanted to get that so I could reach this a little bit better. Now I can. Maybe there's a better way to clean that up, but that's what we got for now. I certainly had no idea we were going to get so much snow. So even though right now the handlebars are on there, the Astra handlebars and the Enduro Engineers, we're going to go back in time when I put those on and get everything put onto the bike. We want to make big changes one at a time so we know how they affect me on the bike. So what we're going to do is we're actually going to put the Astra handlebars on. We're going to make a couple other little updates, but we're not going to put on the Mako 360 yet. That'll give me a chance to feel how having the lower bars handle on this bike. I've got the lowered pegs on the way, but again, we're going to wait on those as well. So we're going to get those Astra handlebars on there today. I've also got a Bulletproof Designs throttle housing that we're going to put on, and of course, bark busters. You guys saw what I did with my pinkies. We need to address that. We've got Enduro Engineering handguards. Now, what's interesting is these BrakTec guys are very different. So you see, because of the BrakTec, the way that these are gonna mount up is gonna be different than they were on the Sherco. Let's dig into this bad boy. First things first is getting the new handlebars on the bike. So I'm gonna strip everything off and get the new handlebars on. And I don't know what position the handlebars are in right now, because with the forged top triple clamp, there's only two positions. You can only rotate those. There's no holes like there are on some of the other top triple clamps. So we're gonna see what position these bad boys are in, and we're going to move forward from there and get these new handlebars on. Getting the handlebars off, you can see that it's in the back position. So if you look at it from this way, you can tell that it's just a little off center backwards. So I'm gonna flip this around, and then we'll get that Astra bar on there. Fortunately, I'm probably gonna have to get the torque wrench out and torque these down correctly, but we're gonna have to get those from the manual. All right, onward. Due to needing to get up into there, I went ahead and took this plastic organizer off for all of the electrics, for the electrical wires, so I could get up in there. So that's why I took that off. I think I can get in there and do that a little bit easier with that out of the way. So looks like you've got different kind of ways that you can mate and mount stuff, but these guys just sit in there and tighten from the bottom. So that's how it's going to sit now. So that way the bars are going to be a little bit more forward there on there. So we'll get that tightened back up. Interesting though. And then the Mako 360 has pieces that fit in here so that it can then attach to those. But again, we'll do that next week as we continue to evolve the Red Rocket. One thing that sucks is not having a manual. You've got to look everything up on your phone. So I had to try to figure out, like, what are these things called to then go find the torque specs. So it looks like the handlebar clamp under here is 40 Newton meters, and then the ones here up top on the handlebar are going to be 20 Newton meters. So I'm going to get these guys to 40 Newton meters, then we'll get the handlebar in there, get that to 20 Newton meters, and then we'll get everything put back on. Before I put this left side on, I got to pop this guy out, and we got to thread the handlebars. Forgot about that. Here we go. Even though I use the open-ended guards, I still thread my handlebars so I can put bar ends on there, because when I have tried to use the pinch bolts with bar ends before and I've hit them a couple times, they have not worked and they've come out, and then I wind up trashing a grip. Nobody likes that. So I choose to still thread my handlebars for the aluminum bar ends that I put on there. Sue me. I was surprised that the GasGas came with the ODI lock-on grips, but in the long run, I'm changing out to the Bulletproof Designs throttle housing here just for a little bit stronger throttle housing. There's the bar end that you can see me setting on. The BrakTec perches are very different than the Brembo perches. There is a pinch bolt versus the two bolts that pinch down on the bar, and honestly, it is probably a pretty weak spot. I've heard people refer to the metal as Chinesium. To say that the quality of them is not very high is a maybe. I have not had any issues yet. What Enduro Engineering has come up with is a way to be able to use their aluminum moto arms to work on the BrakTec perches. So far, I did have to shave down that lever pivot bolt using a drill and some sandpaper just a little bit to be able to get it to fit into the brake lever, but in the long run, that was the only issue that I had getting everything set up. From there, we'll see how these guys last, and obviously I'll let you know what I find out. I'm going to see about going riding tomorrow with Liam at Quinlan Enduro. If we do, of course, I'll tack this into the video. But if not, I hope you guys learned a little bit about some of the protection that I've added. Again, have that conversation. What type of protection do you use? When do you use it? Why do you put it on the bike? We need to spend money to protect these things, but at the same time, they're crazy expensive as it is. It's quite the conundrum. I'm excited to get back on the bike though and get ready for Sumter. I think I have row 41 for Sumter. Man, I am nervous. I don't think I'm gonna be ready to actually race come Sumter, but I'm gonna have to remember what's in my control. And I've been sick, we've had snow days, I haven't been able to be on the bike, so I'm probably just gonna ride in the mild map. I'm gonna keep the traction control on. We've got the different air filter cage on there. Hopefully that helps a little bit. And I'm gonna have to not try to push it. I'm going to have to try to remember the goal is to not stall the bike. And with that, that means I'm not gonna be able to ride 100%. So we'll see how it's going to go. Again, guys, enjoy getting seat time. If I don't get a chance to see you on the trail, obviously I'll see you here on the internet. Thanks for joining in. We'll see you for the next one. Peace.